As I speak in this video right now, there's probably some guy right now that's getting ready. What time does court start in the morning? Maybe 8:30 in the morning, because he's about to face a hearing fighting for his kids, or he's going to face the possibility of lifetime alimony. He's probably already been alienated from his kids, and he's put in a difficult situation. You see, because in America, in this gynocracy that we live in, obviously there's a huge imbalance in the system. The system is heavily rigged against men, especially in the family court, especially with divorce. There's guys who can't retire now. Guys that are in the military, guys in various different jobs, guys are facing lifetime alimony in certain states. Guys that are in terrible, toxic situations and horrible marriages. And we get distracted by conversations because men in their egos would rather fight with each other than to deal with the elephant that's in the room, which is the laws, which is unfair marriage laws, unfair laws in this society that heavily penalize men. One-sided equations for men who get married, men who have kids, the family court situation. We've seen little small changes in places like Kentucky where they had default 50-50 custody for men when marriages end. And we obviously saw the divorce rate dropped in that state. So we have a heavily imbalanced system of justice in America when it comes to relationships, long-term relationships, especially marriage. And that's being put to the side. Because with men's content, unlike the old men's content creators like the Paul Elams of the past and the MRA guys, we have a whole bunch of infections into these spaces. The pickup guys, the game guys, when they lose track of the elephant in the room, which is the laws themselves. What has changed in the laws to update it, to make it more balanced and fair for both men and women, but particularly for men, based upon the current system that exists, the current culture, because the social contract itself is gone. It's gone. But we're still holding men to all of these traditional standards of the past. We're still enforcing the law like women are the same. The law is still being weaponized against men in family, especially men who get with women later on in life, who would not have chosen them in their early 20s or whatever else, and they become cleanup men. Those women get bored in relationships, go file for divorce. Maybe the guy has 1 or 2 kids with that woman, or guys that are in bad situation. They end up going to court and getting destroyed financially. Many guys are suffering mentally, some of them possibly suicidal, and many things. Those things are swept under the rug because we're worried about Corey Holcomb, Anton Daniels fighting with 2 individuals that the gynocracy despises. The gynocracy of jellyback simps, matriarchal males, and those individuals, women, the women especially. So the women love, not all women, but certain women with certain feminist liberal ideology likes to see men fight amongst each other. The jellybacks like it too, but nothing get accomplished. Nothing changes in the laws. The laws are what matters. Policy, laws, actual concrete things that affect people's lives. Feelings and emotions and, disagreements and bickering and all that. It means nothing if the laws themselves are the same. The laws are outdated. They have not adjusted for a modern society, a modern relationship, a very transactional environment, an environment where there's no stability in terms of long-term commitment and relationships, in terms of the mindset and mentality today, especially today's modern women. So we're dealing with laws that would probably be useful in the 1940s and 50s. This is 2026. Same laws, unfair, imbalance, highly punitive to one gender, who's usually the highest income earner. You get punished, period. So going into that, signing that contract with the state, it becomes a serious consideration for most men. You put a tremendous amount of risk a tremendous amount of liability on the table, because inevitably in this gynocentric environment, it's always your fault. Always your fault. The coalition of simps and women and feminists and the society in general are going to penalize you when things go bad. That's just where we're at today in 2026. So we've got distracted by a lot of this content. That's why when I talk to the brothers, I talk about their own peace, their own happiness, their own self-esteem. I introduce the Ayn Rands. We talk about Patrice O'Neill. We talk about the ideology of indifference. We talk about self-preservation. We talk about men falling in love with their own company, making good decisions. We talk about men not taking on loads. Everything is about men building themselves and men becoming better for themselves, not just for the system. Adaptation. We talk about men downloading the new program for men, modern men in a modern society dealing with a modern world. Those are the things I talk about. Those are things I focus on. Making good deals, making good decisions, putting yourself in the best possible situation so you can be successful. I don't care anything about, guys peacocking or pickup game for chicken heads. That's just a self-esteem issue as far as I'm concerned. As long as you understand female nature, indifference, and have self-esteem, the challenge of meeting women and dealing with women become easier because you value yourself. You're not pedestalizing women. You're not worshiping women. You're not thinking that you got some type of blessing or reward. In fact, you're the blessing and reward, because you're the one that has to provide and protect for that woman. And you have to put your life on the line and make sacrifices for your family. So you are the blessing out here. But we live in this environment that's highly gynocentric, and adaptation is necessary to overcome that, because now I'm starting to see more and more every day that the biggest problem that we have out here today, as much as feminism is a problem, we have weak men that attack other men in terms of trying to destroy them on behalf of the gynocracy, trying to score points to get pre-owned box. That's what we have. They have basically compromised their manhood and their masculinity for short-term gains. Inevitably, they end up back in that same system, the same system that destroys men, the same system that's based on the fact that it's a consumer-based system based on the fact that women do 80% of the spending. So they want to keep money in the hands of women, and you are the sacrificial animal as a man. But until that system of justice changes, this has become like a circle jerk where, it's like a dog chasing his tail. Nothing ever changes because men's ego is the biggest problem. We get into these beefs, we get into these problems, we lose focus on the thing that matters most. The freaking laws, the rules, policy, laws governing the family. Those things are what matters. Women vote. Women are not going to give up power, or they're not going to do anything to change the system that heavily benefits them. But some guys are so caught in their ego that they can't even see that they're set up in a bad situation legally, and they won't deal with the legal challenges that are out here today, that are facing men in marriages, facing men. There's guys that are trapped in situations that they can't, it's terrible. They're absolutely suffering every day. But because they're financially trapped in the situation, they have to endure the suffering, because they know that if they try to get out of it, they will lose huge amounts of assets. They'll lose their kids. They'll be destroyed in the legal system. But they're absolutely miserable. So those are the things that matter in life. The law. Until the laws change, it really, what are we doing? Getting involved in stupid, crazy beefs. And again, everything that you see is the side effects of this man-hating gynocracy. The passport bro movements, red pill community, manosphere. These are all symptoms of a dysfunctional system of man-hating that has been pushed into culture through feminism, corporate-sponsored feminism, government empowerment. All these things in the culture have pushed forward a system of pure man-hating, and that's not going to change anytime soon, because the dudes are so easily distracted. Anyhow, Time for me to hit the gym. Peace and blessings to you guys. Enjoy your day. But it's got to get back on the real track. It's the damn laws that matters. All these conversations is all distractions. Peace and blessings to you guys. And I don't think the laws are going to change anytime soon. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I'm out.